Namaskar, friends. Welcome to the 10th episode of Yogic-Neurosciences in Hanuman Chalisa. And before we begin, let me invoke the grace of Ganeshji Maharaj and Hanumanji. Of course, the blessing from Hanumanji, who is nothing but our own breath that we have discussed earlier. So let me share the screen so that we can focus on Hanumanji Maharaj. So there it is. And minimize myself here. Okay. So here it is. So today's is basically we will be discussing who is Ram Doot in our brain. Okay. So please pay very close attention to today's episode because it is just a little bit intense. Intense means it'll require you to think a little bit out of the box. Okay. So let's summarize quickly what we learned from previous 9 episodes. Our consciousness, our conscious awareness, awareful breathing, which is Hanumanji Maharaj, right? And our conscious and awareful breathing with Ujjayi, when you constrict your throat a little bit, is what constitutes the real pranayam actually. Otherwise, it is Shwasayam. Okay. So conscious and awareful breathing eventually triggers pancha pranas, or the 5 major physiological functions in our body. We have learned this in episode, I think, 5. Yeah. Now, Ram or the consciousness, we have learned very recently, Ram or the consciousness manifests in the insular cortex area of the prefrontal cortex, where emotions of compassion is processed. That's why we call that as a place where in our body, if at all it's a place where consciousness gets manifested, it is the insular cortex because of the way it processes compassion. Now the question is, if Hanumanji is our breath and it converts and the breath gets converted to pranas via interaction with different receptor types in medulla oblongata and pons of the spinal cord region, then and by activating certain parts of the brain, it affects different physiological function. Then is there any parallel or is there any similarity between the human brain functioning or the human brain formation also in the development of human brain and Ram Katha, or Ram Katha and physiological function and human brain? So all 3 things, is there any parallel? So that is what I want you to pay a little bit more attention to. Now, before Hanumanji became the messenger or the Ramdut of consciousness, he was a messenger or a Dut of Sugriv actually. So if you read Ramcharitmanas in Kishkindha Kand, you see that Sugriv was a very, very fearful person. He was being threatened by his brother of dire consequences. So, but he was afraid that even though Sugriv may not, Bali may not come to kill him, he might send somebody. So when Ram and Lakshman was coming on their way, which is currently the Hampi area in Karnataka area, that is the Kishkindha Kand. That's where it happened. So he sends Hanumanji to find out whether these 2 people are being sent by Bali or they are friends. So let's find out. So what happened? This is exactly what he did. Tum upkar sugriva hi kina, Rama milaya rajapad dina. So Hanumanji made sure that Ram, the consciousness, meets Sugriv, the person who is running around and having fear and having this flight and fight concept going on in his head. So this is the place where Hanumanji makes him equanimous. by making Ram meet him. So this is what, so Hanumanji, as it is, he having a great quality of a messenger, he does not reveal his true form essentially. So what he becomes Vipra. Vipra means Brahmin. So he becomes a Brahmin, and he interacts with Ram, and he says, actually, this is the role of Hanumanji as a surveillance agent of Sugriva to make sure whether Ram and Lakshmana are friends or foes, being sent by Bali to kill him. So anyway, he says, Hanumanji says, Kotuma Shyamala Gaura Sarira, Chhatri Rupa Firahu Banabira, Kathina Bhumi Komal Padgami, Kavana Hetu Vicharehu Banaswami. So he said that को तुम श्यामल गौर शरीरा छत्री रूप फिरहु बन बीरा कठिन भूमि कोमल पदगामी कवन हेतु बिचरेहु बन सामी जग कारण तारण भव भंजन धरनी भार कि तुम अकेल भुवन पति लीन मनुज अवतार. He says, now he recognizes that these two people are certainly not from this area. So by looking at the features itself, he said, Koho tumasa, who are you? Shamal means little dark complexion, and Gaur means fair complexion. So Lakshmanji was a fair complexion and Ramchandraji was dark complexion. Who are you with this fair and dark complexion people? You look like a warrior, and you are roaming around this harsh land, but you look like a warrior, but your feet does not show me Komala Padagami. Your feet does not look hardened by walking in such harsh ground. So Kathina Bhumi Komala Padgami. There are contrasts going on here. The place where you are roaming around is so harsh, but your feet are so tender. What is the purpose of hanging around here? So that's what he asked me. So then suddenly he realized, because Hanumanji's great quality is, whenever he wants to understand the person across him, in front of him, he dives deep inside him to find, is there any match with his own true nature and the person standing in front. So if there is match happens, suddenly he will say, oh, this is the person. So he immediately recognizes them. And he even says that Jag Karana Tarana Bhava Bhanjana Dharani Bhar, which means you have come to spread compassion and to take the entire mankind from this world of becoming to to make them realize their own self. Is that what you are come here for? So this is beautiful. This is beautiful. Now let's understand what this meeting means. Okay. And what is the Shamal Gaur Sarira as far as it concerns our brain and development and everything? So let's get to the neuroscience part of it now. Okay. So in our brain, the dark matter is Shamal, which is neuronal body. If you cut the brain sections, you will find dark regions separated by white, fair region, white matter, right? So the white matter is the axon, and the Syamal, which is the neuronal body, contains the nucleus, that is the dark matter of our brain. So what is Kathina Bhumi? Kathina Bhumi means rough and hard ground, and Komal but tender feet. So what is this all about? So remember, Hanuman, Sri Ram was born here. Born means manifested here. The consciousness manifested in the insular cortex area, and this this consciousness is now traveling down here, and that's why Hanumanji says Kathina Bhumi Komal Kathina. What is this Kathina Bhumi? Kathina Bhumi is the palatal area. Palatal area means just above our mouth, the cavity, the hard area that you see just above the tongue. That is the palatal area. So he says that from this particular tender insular cortex area, why are you coming here in this little down below, which is harsh, which does not support growth actually. So what, and then he says that what is this Komal Padagami? So anyway, whenever neuron migrates or neuron makes connections, so when right, so it makes connection through these dendrites. These dendrites are very tender, extremely tender. And this is the dark body, as you said, and this is the axon. And this ending of the axon, which is basically very, very tender, this is called dendrites. So Hanumanji says that you are born, you have manifested here. What is making you come all the way in the palatal area? This is exactly how brain develops. During the early development of the brain, this is complex a little bit. Early development of the brain, the migration from insular area or prefrontal cortex area comes all the way into the midbrain area and in the temporal area and things like that. So these are the basic connections he is talking about. This is so wonderful. So that's what I'll just give you a little bit. So Ram's journey is coming from here. So Ram meeting Hanumanji is the beginning of the expansion of consciousness in our brain. So consciousness expanding. So how is it expanding? First, it comes all the way to temporal area, which is what Hanumanji says that this is such a harsh area. Why you come here? So anyway, so this is the place where Sugriv is stuck here, and Hanumanji is going to take him all the way here. So that is what we'll see. So this Hanumanji is taking both of them. And what does this signify in brain? So remember we had talked about the transient hypoxia in episode 4. So when the transient hypoxia happens, what happens? It promotes neurogenesis. Neurogenesis means formation of new neurons, which is obviously will be having. So if the new neuron has to form, it will die if it does not make connection with another neuron. So synaptogenesis, which means synapse formation of two neurons joining together has to happen. Otherwise, this brand new neuron is going to die. So the same is the case with Ram, Sri Ram and Lakshman. They are coming into harsh ground, and Hanumanji feels that this neuron might die. So let him make friendship with another neuron of the similar nature. So that's what he takes these two, and this is called axon guidance molecule in our brain. In the brain development, axon guidance molecules such as netrin, semaphorin, and ephrine are released, and they are nothing but guidance axon guidance molecule, which is basically Hanumanji Maharaj. Hanumanji Maharaj is the axon guidance, because why it is axon guidance molecule? Because it is released in that part of the breathing process where transient hypoxia is there. The hold part, remember, exhale and hold. That's the one. Exhale and hold. That's the one which is causing Bahya Kumbhak and the transient hypoxia. So Hanumanji is basically the guidance molecule here. Okay. Let us see how that guidance molecule work. This is actually the textbook figure I have stolen actually. So this is a pioneer neuron, which is basically Ram. Okay, and this is the follower neuron. Who is following Ram? Lakshman is following Ram, right? And then what they meet Hanumanji, which is nothing but the attractive cue. Attractive cue is given by the guidance molecule only, right? Axon guidance molecule. So this axon guidance molecule, along with Ram and Lakshman, goes to this target molecule. Who is target molecule is Sugriva. Sugriva is the target molecule. So it is like the entire brain development, the fundamental aspect of brain development is right now shown right here in Ramcharitmanas. So this is, you see that this is Ram, and this is Sugriva, and this is Hanumanji, and there you are. This particular hand holding each other is the synaptic connection, and this is just a cartoon depicting how presynaptic neuron and the postsynaptic neuron make connections via the neurotransmitters which are released from here. So initially, this is what is Ram, and this is what is Sugriva. and the molecule which make this to happen. So Hanumanji's role is threefold right here. First of all, we saw in the transient hypoxia, it becomes the guidance molecule, and then after the guidance molecule has done its work of making the thing close by, it makes it permanent interaction until and unless neurotransmitters are released and get recognize the receptors. Things would not. There is no such thing as synaptic connection. So if these are not released, so Hanumanji is also a neurotransmitter here, a messenger, which is what makes thing this synaptic connection happen. Okay. So what is the characteristic of a messenger? The messenger should be able to change forms. That is exactly what Hanuman is doing here. In the beginning, when he enters Lanka, he becomes Masakar Samana Rupa Kapidari, means he becomes a mosquito, almost like a form of mosquito. And over here, you just saw how many forms he changed. Then he changes form to pranas and the pancha pranas and then he changes to becoming axon guidance molecule and then the neurotransmitter, and it's amazing, right? Then he should be able to distinguish the self from non-self. So he distinguishes self. He recognizes Ramchandraji as friend, not as a foe, because he goes inside himself and tries to match the mirror, the image that he has of that consciousness. Does it match the person standing in front of me? That is how you know whether this person is going to be a friend or a foe. This quality one must learn from Hanumanji. Second thing is, of course, this particular quality exists in our immune system. Immune system is most fascinating thing to study, actually. He should be able to go to discrete places, like almost um, every nook and corner of our body or in the brain, wherever it is. So that is the quality. That particular dooth or the messenger should have tremendous memory to recognize its, because that recognition with a change in form has to have the memory, so that he should know that, okay, at such and such time I had this form, and at today I have a different form. So with the form, the function changes, and that's why that tremendous memory should be there also. Then he should be able to destroy the non-self. Remember, in Lanka, he destroyed the Lanka itself. So he should be able to destroy. If somebody is the non-self there, that has to go. So that is the power of messenger. Okay. Now, in the brain, the perfect messenger is a neurotransmitter which is released from nerve terminal. The way we saw just now, in the synaptic connection. If the synaptic connection does not release neurotransmitter, that synaptic connection is going to die after some time, and that is exactly what happens uh, in Parkinson's disease. In Parkinson's disease, that is exactly what happened, or in Alzheimer's disease also. There is no neurotransmitter which is released, as a result of which the post-synaptic, the other neuron dies, and then obviously the one which is supposed to release neurotransmitter, that also dies. So there is a cascade of death of neurons all over in the system. So hormones are another brilliant messenger system, which are released from endocrine glands in the pituitary, right? Pituitary, thyroid, beta cells of insulin in the pancreas. So these are all the hormone releasing agents, and they directly release their content into the bloodstream. So, and then there is a neurohormone, which is a hybrid of a neurotransmitter as well as a hormone. So it passes all along the axon, but is released in the bloodstream. It is not released in the synaptic cleft or between the. It does not make what you call neuron-neuron connection. It is a neurotransmitter going all the way to the axon, but it is released into the bloodstream. So that is a hybrid situation. Next, in our next episode, we will discuss how Hanumanji acts like a neurotransmitter and how he acts like a hormone when in Lanka. So, which is that which communicates as a neurotransmitter or hormone? What is the nature of what is his nature or his or form when he interacts with Sitaji, or when he interacts with Vibhishan, or when he interacts with Ravan. What is his form? So that's what we will discuss in the next episode. Please stay tuned. It is going to be so fascinating. You'll say, wow. And then, of course, thank you very, very much uh, for being with me discussing this beautiful episode of Ramadut Atulita Baladhama. And you know what to do now, right? Subscribe, share, like, and press the bell icon, and share it with as many people. There is so much beauty in our scripture. You must share it. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you very much, guys. It's been a privilege and an honor that you allow me to do uh, Bhagavad Katha and make the neuroscience understanding of what is this all about. Our rishis have been so kind to express their vision of brain science, neuroscience in such story form. It's amazing. Thank you very much, and look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thanks.